materials, metals and non-metals. We will read and understand what are metals and what are non-metals. So let's quickly start. There are different materials, and there are some materials which are mentioned in this book, which are iron, aluminium, and there is a table given here which describes the object, its appearance and its hardness. So from this table we have to write here what is the property of the first material, which is iron. So iron is, what is its appearance? What does it look like? Is it shiny or it is dull? Does it have a shine or it not have a shine? You have to write here. So this, in this column you will write this, in this column you will write what are hard and what are not hard. So if you see this quickly, iron is having a shine, coal you know it is black, so it does not have a shine. Sulfur also does not have a shine. Aluminum is a metal, it has a shine. Copper also has a shine, and there is a gap here. Iron is used in making things, so it is hard. Coal is not hard, you can break it. Sulfur is also not hard. Aluminum is not, aluminum is hard, and copper is also hard. So what does this table just describe? That there are different types of metals which are given in this. Name the materials which are metals. So from, if we don't even read, then we will understand that those substances which are hard, we can call them metals, and those which are not, we can call them non-metals. The rest of the materials in the table 4.1 are non-metals. So iron, aluminium and copper are three metals in this table, and the remaining are non-metals. They can be differentiated based on their physical and chemical properties. So what are physical and chemical properties? Physical property of any substance means the property which can be observed with our physical senses. Physical senses means you can see them, you can hear them, you can touch them, you can smell. They are physical properties. And what are chemical properties? Those properties which can be only judged with the help of a chemical reaction, which will come later on. So what are the physical properties of metals and non-metals? So it starts that, have you seen a blacksmith beating an iron piece or an article which is made up of iron? A blacksmith is a person who makes objects, and you see them, these people around the roads. So they are hitting a metal and they are making it into different shapes. Do you find a change in the shape? They take a piece of metal, they heat it, and then they hit it and they change the shape. So what does this tell you? So there is another activity which is describing a unique property which is not very difficult. You have seen that if you take a hammer and you hit an iron nail, there are some iron nails shown in the book, and you can take iron nail, you can take aluminum wire and you hit it. Repeat the same kind of treatment on different materials. So if you hit iron piece, iron nails will change their shape, they will become flat. If you hit coal piece, it will break, it will turn into powder. If you hit aluminum wire, will it break? It will not break, but it will change into a thin piece, its shape will become flat. And pencil, if you hit, it will break. So this explains that metals and non-metals, since here you are using an hammer for hitting a piece of iron or hitting a substance, so you are touching it. When you will touch it and hit, it will change the shape. So this property of changing the shape is described here. You will see that the shape of the iron nail and the aluminum wire will change. If they were beaten hard, these could be changed into sheets. If you hit them, they will become thin sheets. And another example is of a silver foil. So what is a silver foil? You know, if a silver foil you have not seen, aluminum foil you must have seen. Aluminum foil, which is used for packing things, it is made up of aluminum, and silver foil is made up of silver. Silver foil is used for, it is eaten also, it is used for decorating sweets, and it looks like aluminum. And silver is a medicinal substance, It has medicinal value and it can be used for eating, whereas aluminum is not eaten but it is used for packing. And how are these foils made? The property of metals by which they can be beaten into sheets. So aluminum foil and silver foil are made into sheets by beating them, and this property is called malleability. This is a characteristic property of metals. This property is seen in metals. If you hit any iron nail or aluminum, it will become flat, and this is a characteristic property of metals only, which is not seen in non-metals. However, metals like coal and pencil do not show this property. And what are these? These are non-metals. Then another property described here is hold a hot metallic pan which is without a plastic or a wooden handle. So if you hold anything which is made up of metal and it is heated, it will not be able to hold it, isn't it? So it will not, because the handle will also become hot, the utensil will also be hot. Try to list some other experiences in which a wooden or a plastic handle protects you. So we use a plastic handle and protect our hands from getting burnt. Sometimes if you don't have a handle, we use cloth also. We use cloth for holding the handle. On the basis of these experiences, what can you say about this property? So this property is called conduction. Conduction you have read earlier in junior classes. Conduction is a property, conduction of heat here. So metals conduct heat, and wood, which is a non-metal, does not conduct heat. That is why wooden handles are made and plastic handles are made which do not conduct heat. So this is second property, malleability, then conduction of heat, and then next activity describes conduction of electricity. So there is a bulb here and there is a battery and there are wires, and this is the piece of metal which is connected, and when you will connect the wire, the bulb will light up. So why does this light up? Because the material which is allowing the thing to light up is because it is a good conductor of electricity. So there are some materials name mentioned here: iron, sulfur, coal, copper, and we will put these substances between the wire and see that when iron nail will be put between the wires, bulb will light up, which means iron is a good conductor. Sulfur, when you will put piece of sulfur and touch it, it will be a bad conductor. Coal, it will be a bad conductor, and copper wire will be a good conductor. So this is a special property. Materials are good and bad conductors. So we will see that iron and copper are good conductors while sulfur and coal are poor conductors. Good and bad conductors means they allow electricity to pass through, and copper and sulfur do not allow electricity to pass through. So where do you find use of aluminum and copper wires? They are used in making electric wires. Why? Because they have a property by which they can be drawn into wires. So here it was conduction. Now copper and aluminum can be changed into wires. And this is the property of another property of metal, that metals can be changed into wires, which is called ductility. So we have read two properties, which is malleability and ductility. So malleability is changing into sheet and ductility is changing into wires. So metals have two properties, malleability and ductility, and two more properties which have been described, that they are good conductors of heat and good conductors of electricity, and non-metals do not show this property. So we will continue this topic in the next module. So stay connected. See you in the next class.